Hi guys. So today we are going to be reading another book that is about our topic of community. And in this book, Armando and the Blue Tarp School, this community is going to be helped by a person who is not actually um, living in the community, but is someone who comes into the community and helps to make a difference. So, again, we're thinking about how a community is a group of people who are working together. And this is going to be the person who comes into the community to make a difference. His name is Senor David, and this is Armando. And before we begin, a blue tarp is, as you can see on this background, this is a blue tarp. And tarp is like a really crinkly material that is waterproof. So what they do is they lay that tarp on the ground and they learn on the tarp. So Senor David is saying, well, guess what? A school can be anywhere. It doesn't have to have walls or a roof. It can be anywhere. Just like we are learning at home right now, and we are still technically in school, but we are doing it from our own homes. So a school can be anywhere. So here is Armando and the Blue Tarp School. All day, Armando and Papa had worked at the dump, picking through trash. Now they trudged down the rocky hillside. Afternoon sunlight shone on broken glass, rickety fences, and tumbled down houses in their colonia, their neighborhood. Ba-beep, ba-beep, a truck horn blared from below. Armando pointed. Mira! Look, Papa, it's Senor David from last summer. Papa was silent for a moment. Then he said, You can go, just this once. Armando hurried down the gravelly path to tell his friend Isabella the news. Off they ran, down the dirt road, across the wobbly plank, and past the big rock. So Armando's neighborhood, you can see, does not look like a neighborhood that you live in. Armando's neighborhood is Armando's neighborhood is built out of scraps. They live by a giant dump, and his neighborhood is built from the scraps from the dump. But they notice that Senor David is coming, and he is their teacher. Senor David, you're back, said Armando. My friends, mis amigos, I've missed you, said Senor David, spreading a big tarp on the ground. Your school, Armando said. I remember. The first time Senor David called his blue tarp a school, Armando hadn't understood. He thought schools had walls, floors, and roofs. But Senor David said a school could be anywhere, even on a tarp in a colonia. Ready to learn more? Asked Senor David. See, the children shouted. Yes. So you're noticing that there is Spanish and English in this book. We're using both languages. Nearby, scrawny chickens pecked at the dirt. Hen, said Senor David. He flapped his arm. Bawk, bawk, bawk. La gallina. Hen, said the children. They flapped their arms too. Bawk, bawk, bawk. On his chalkboard, Senor David wrote the letters of the alphabet. The children called out letters in Spanish and English, then practiced words they had learned last year. House, la casa. Boy, el muchacho. Girl, la muchacha. Very good, muy bien, said Senor David. We'll work hard this summer, but we'll have fun too. Armando couldn't wait. That night, Armando ate slowly. At last, he asked if he could go to school on Senor David's blue tarp. Papa frowned. Do not fill your head with dreams of school. You went last year, said Armando. You are older now, said Papa. I wish things could be different, but we are pependores, trash pickers. You must do the work of our family. Mama added, Your sisters are small. I need to stay here with them. The money you and Papa earn helps us live. Tears stung Armando's eyes. More than anything, he wanted to learn, but he knew Papa and Mama were right. Later, Armando sat on his thin mattress. With a stubby pencil, he sketched a picture of Senor David's truck. So he can't go to school because he has to help earn money with his father. As Papa and Armando neared the dump the next morning, the foul smell grew stronger and stronger. Rumbling trash trucks backed up. Eep, eep, eep. Out tumbled heaps of garbage. Workers rushed toward to tear at boxes and rip open plastic bags. Flocks of squawking seagulls circled and dove, fighting over bits of rotting food. Armando searched for bottles and cans, clothes and toys, some to sell, some to use. In one tattered bag he found shiny buttons and silvery thread. From another he pulled a smudged notebook and a dented tin of paints. These he kept. Armando mopped his sweaty face and swatted at buzzing flies. What was Senor David teaching now, he wondered. So you can see he's working hard with his father at the dump, and they find things to either keep for themselves or to sell for money. By the time Armando and Papa headed for home, the sun had dipped low, painting the sky red. Hearing the gate squeak, Isabella raced over to share what she had learned at school. Words covered her paper. La rana is frog, she said. We hopped with Senor David. We said crua, crua, and ribbit, ribbit. Armando's shoulders drooped. I wish I could go with you. I know, said Isabella, but I'll bring you new words, I promise. After Isabella left, Armando copied her words into his notebook. Then he made a picture for each one. Before he went to sleep, he put his notebook and paints with the other treasures on the ledge above his bed. I'm noticing that Isabella is a really great friend, and she is helping Armando learn, even though Armando can't get to the school with Senor David. And Armando is taking those lessons that Isabella brought him and is putting them in his notebook so he can study on his own. He is very determined to learn. Every day Armando worked at the dump, and every day he longed to be sitting on that blue tarp. One evening, Papa said, People are talking about Senor David's school. Armando's stomach flip-flopped. We have always been pepinadores, Papa went on, but learning is important. It could help you find different work when you grow up. Maybe in the city. So, Mama and I decided you may leave the dump early for school. But the money, said Armando. Somehow we will manage. Gracias, Papa. Thank you. Armando hurried outside to tell Isabella. They whooped with joy. From then on, Armando worked mornings with Papa. Each afternoon, Armando and Isabella walked down the dirt road, across the wobbly plank, and past the big rock to Senor David's school. Sometimes the lessons were easy, sometimes they were hard. But soon the children could write sentences and do numbers. They sang songs, played games, and drew pictures. Below a drawing of red flowers, Armando wrote, Las rosas huelen bien. Roses smell nice. By a girl jumping rope, he wrote, Isabella salta. Isabella jumps. One day a cow lumbered by. Hola, vaca, said Armando. Moo, moo. Hello, cow, said Senor David. Moo, moo. Cows give milk. La leche. Cows give milk, echoed the children. So you can see that Senor David is using everything that's going by to help teach the children. Another day, Armando sketched a fat pig snuffling through the garbage. And you can see it there. Great pig, tremendo cerdo, said Senor David. Then Armando showed him a painting he had made of a tall man with brown hair and a mustache. On it he had written, Mi amigo, my friend. Is that me? asked Senor David. Sí, said Armando. Gracias, mi amigo, said Senor David. He shook Armando's hand. Week after week, Armando wrote, drew, and painted. Soon, words, sentences, and bright pictures filled his notebook. I'm wondering what that drawing means to Senor David. I'm wondering if he's thinking, wow, they're learning. They like me. One night, the smell of smoke jolted Armando awake. Winds howled, woods crackled. Fuego! Fuego! People shouted. Fire! Fire! Mama and Papa gathered the children and ran from the house. Flames roared through the colonia. Papa rushed to help. Men slapped at the fire with wet blankets. They threw buckets of water. Safe on the hillside, Mama hugged the children close. Heart-thudding, Armando watched as a wall of greedy flames swallowed his house. At dawn, hot ashes smoldered. Many houses had burned. Armando stared at the patch of ground where his family's home had stood. Nothing was left. Senor David had put his hand on Armando's shoulder. Your words and drawings? Todo está perdido, said Armando in a small, sad voice. All gone. I'm sorry. Lo siento, said Senor David. So we're seeing the whole village, or the colonia, got destroyed by the fire. Everything is gone. Armando's notebook is gone. 2 days later, the scent of smoke still hung in the air. Senor David and the children gathered on his blue tarp. What a hard time for you, mis amigos, he said. No lessons today. Let's just draw. Armando colored orange and red flames, black smoke, and frightened faces. As the children worked, a car drove up. Please welcome our visitors, Senor David said. They're writing a story about the fire and our school for the city newspaper. The photographer snapped pictures. The reporter scribbled notes. When she spotted Armando's drawing, she asked to borrow it. Armando wondered why. He glanced at Senor David. Go ahead, Armando, he said. It's okay. So these people are coming by to write a news article about the fire. And you can see in the background, there's not anything left. Everything is burnt to the ground. The next day, Senor David held up a newspaper. Look, mira, he said. Armando's eyes grew wide. On the front page was his drawing of the fiery night. His picture for everyone to see. The children cheered. Armando grinned. Senor David gave him a copy of the paper to show Mama and Papa. Later that week came another surprise. When a kind woman in the city saw Armando's painting and read the story, she sent money to build a school. Where? Asked Armando. Right where our blue tarp has been, said Senor David. Armando closed his eyes, imagining how the school would look. Over the next week, Senor David and Papa built a new house for Armando's family from fence boards, chicken wire, and old garage doors. They helped other families rebuild too. Whenever people could, they worked on the school. They mixed cement and smoothed out a floor. They sawed wood and pounded nails to build 4 walls and a sturdy roof. Light poured in where the windows would go. At last, the school was finished. The children crowded inside, chattering and pointing. They darted from benches to tables to books with colorful pictures. Isabella ran her fingers over the braided blue rug. It's like our blue tarp, she said. Then Armando spotted a wooden easel spattered with paint. Your papa brought that, said Senor David. Armando's eyes sparkled. Papa wanted him here, learning and painting. Ever since the first ba-beep of Senor David's truck horn, Armando had longed for such a place to learn, a place to grow, a place for friends. Armando flung his arms wide. Words tumbled out. I am happy from here to the sky. So that is Armando's new house that his papa built with the help of Senor David and Armando. And this is the new school. And I did want to point out that this is actually a book that is based on fact. So Senor David is a real person. This is a realistic fiction book because it is fiction. Armando is not real, but Senor David is real, and he did have a blue tarp school, and there was a fire, and a generous woman from the city donated money to build a school, and now these children have somewhere to learn. So this is a realistic fiction book. It is based on fact. All right, nice job. Thanks for watching, guys. Go answer your question on Class Dojo.